I really don't know how to begin this episode review of My Hero Academia.
I mean, maybe you should go save Eri?
Potentially. Episode 6.
Look, confirmation, essential confirmation, It's basically confirmation that, yes, the fucking drugs are being derived from her blood. I was right.
Yes, you were.
I will take that, put it on my, gold star board of I was right, over like the 17,000 other gold stars I've got there, and just go on with my day, sir.
I have a few.
You also have a maybe when we were trying to figure out Night Eye's ability.
Right.
You and I both got a maybe on that one. Because we were both kind of half right.
Yay, half point for me!
Although I am correct in saying that, he doesn't see everything. It's like he said, he only sees it. He actually explained how his ability worked. How true he is being, I'm not sure, considering he usually hides this. But he said it was what? He sees it from the person's perspective, but he doesn't see, the surroundings tend to be hazy.
So there could be other factors that he doesn't know about.
That he can't see. And if he's seeing it through the person's eyes, anything that person is unaware of, so is he.
So somebody could just sneak up, whack you on the head with a baseball bat, and he'll have no idea what happened.
All he'll probably know is the back of my head hurt and my eyes went blank, so somebody knocked me out. Won't know how, won't know who. Might not even know exactly where, considering he can't tell surroundings that well. But he'll know, yeah, you're going to get knocked out.
And I found it interesting that he has a cooldown of a full day.
I think he mentioned that before, that it was a full day cooldown. Or maybe I'm thinking of just the time limit of being able to see it for 1 full hour.
I think that's what you're thinking of.
It might be that's what I'm thinking of. The interesting bit is that he definitely, whatever he saw when he touched All Might, it messed with him. Because he refuses to look into somebody else's unless he has to. The way he was talking, it definitely feels like whatever All Might got killed by in his vision was freaking nasty. It was grisly, whatever it was. Because that's the only justification I can think of that's making him so reluctant to use it until he needs to.
So this episode was a giant meeting of all smaller heroes as they got facts together and came up with a mission to save Eri.
The Factgum's not exactly happy about being, forced to wait, but,
I don't think I am either, that they need to strategize. I feel like they need to save her sooner rather than later.
Well, Night Eye laid out the point of, they could literally have her in any one of these, 12 areas.
Right, so that's where reconnaissance comes in.
Yeah, but the problem is, and this is just from our point of view from seeing the villain side, they're underground somewhere in whatever it is. There's the chance that they bust in, right? But they completely miss the hidden, secret entrance to the underground layers. Even with reconnaissance, right? They were doing reconnaissance, but they couldn't get into the building without being discovered.
And with them being underground, they could just go out a secret side tunnel.
That, and when Shigaraki was let in, he was freaking left to wander around for 30 minutes? They were guiding him in circles to make sure that they wouldn't be followed.
Right.
It's hard to coordinate 12 different locations at the same time, which is why Night Eye wants to narrow it down. If he could narrow it down to 4, he'd probably be fine and go with it.
And they would attack all 4 simultaneously?
They'd probably have enough heroes at that point to be able to pull it off. Although, knowing Night Eye, I would say probably 1, considering at that point he'd be willing to use his ability, his quirk, to see into the future. Because he's the one who's we need to get it down to as close to 100% as possible. So as soon as he can narrow it down to a single place, that's when I think they'd do it.
So would he use his ability to make sure it is the right spot?
He'd probably try at least to like see that part, but keep in mind he can only do that to one person per day. So there's a
Right.
chance that if he does that to one person, that one person won't see everything.
Right.
Hence why I'm saying I think he's going to narrow it down to one. And at that point, they're going to go in. He'll probably use his foresight on whatever person is probably going to take the lead, I'm going to guess. And from there, they'll probably move forward. But yeah, mostly this was just like a setup episode for the next one, which is going to be literally going in and doing the job to like try and save her. Which we're mid-season right now, so I can't imagine that actually going perfect unless the next 6 episodes are going to be this whole infiltration thing.
And isn't this season 25 episodes?
Yep, mid-20s. I don't remember exactly whether it's 24 or 26, but it's right around there.
Yeah, so
Well, I mean, like each one so far that has been this long has been divided into two arcs per 12 episodes or 13 episodes.
oh really?
Yeah. Well, remember we had the tournament arc where it was them showing off their powers and fighting each other to see who was the better of all of the classes.
Right.
That was only a 12 episode arc. The Stain part, only a 12 episode arc.
Oh.
Everything so far that has had, a long season like this has been 2 arcs per season.
Oh. So they're going to potentially rescue Eri by February?
By episode 12 or 13, I'd say, unless this is going to be an exception.
Or something goes wrong.
I was going to say, or something akin to like, the Android/Cell saga in Z, where one blends really easily into another. Like outside of that, it's going to be a 12 to 13 episode season.
Any pause in between, do you think?
I feel like they would have announced that at the start of this, but there's always that possibility. I mean, so far they haven't given us a break between these that I can remember at least. But then again, I believe I binged the 3 seasons. Or at least I binged the 2 and then I watched 3 as it was happening. I don't remember there being a break, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it's mostly planning. Mirio and Midoriya are both like, well, fuck, we should have just taken her when we had the chance.
I did like in the beginning where all the students were like, oh, we're going to the same train and we're getting off on the same stop. We're walking down the same street. What's going on?
This is getting real weird, man. There was that nice moment with Aizawa near the end where he basically was like, Midoriya, you're gonna fucking do it regardless of what I say, so I may as well keep my eyes on you.
I did like in the beginning where all the students were like, classic Mirio.
Midoriya. Damn it, Izuku. Stop being an idiot and running in. Yeah, there's not really much to say about it. Again, it's just set up. It's just laying out the information they found on him. Laying out that, they more or less could track it back and say that if he's not the main source of this stuff, then he's definitely one that would know it, either, one way or another. And just that, here's the plan. When we find him, we're going in.
So who do you think will turn out to be the, I don't want to say like chief villain, because I do feel that as they're saving Eri, Stain will somehow overtake Overhaul.
I think you mean Shigaraki?
And boy, what's his villain name? Does he have one?
Shigaraki? Does not have a villain name that I'm aware of.
Okay.
He's just Shigaraki.
So,
Stain was the dude that had no nose.
Krillin?
I mean, he was Krillin and he was the one that was licking people's blood.
Vampire Krillin.
Vampire Krillin Dio, because he could freeze you in place after licking your blood.
But I just feel like Shigaraki may overtake Overhaul.
Well, see, here's the thing, right? I don't know that Shigaraki's going to do anything outside of once Overhaul's whole operation falls in, take whatever he felt would be, useful to him. Whether that's, people from Overhaul's gang that are trying to run and escape, Overhaul himself potentially, and forcing him to be a subordinate, or whatever tech he's got. I highly doubt that Shigaraki's not going to get away with having that drug formula that destroys quirks somehow. That's the other interesting bit. It doesn't just suppress quirks, it's destroying the quirk genes. That's the interesting bit.
Oh, and that made me think of something. Did that one dude have a cockroach mask, or was that his head?
I'm assuming that's his head, because it was moving around.
Okay, follow-up question.
Also, it was a centipede, but okay.
That's right, centipede. But Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, they can all blend in with society. Centipede dude, how can he normally blend in with society and have a secret identity if his head is a goddamn centipede?
I have to assume that there's something that, those people that, make shit for heroes, the techs that make their stuff, like their suits and junk, I have to assume they have something that cloaks him to give him a normal human head.
It just made me think about logic.
I'm thinking, the only way they could do it, and this is me just thinking in, terms of regular shit, not thinking in terms of, crazy sci-fi bullshit. Remember when we were watching Psycho-Pass?
Yes.
And all of their clothing was just holograms?
Oh, yeah.
What if they could do that to his head?
Oh.
And make it look like he's got a regular head?
So, wait. If his centipede head, Quirk, was destroyed, would he have a human head?
See, that's what I'm not sure of. Because Aizawa said it was something different for him. He can't stop somebody that has, a grown piece, like the one karate guy that's in Class 1A that's got the tail. He can't stop that because that's a physical attribute. I don't know what happens if that drug is shot into someone that has a physical, quirk like that.
Would he have no head then?
Well, here's the thing, right? Would it just kill him in that case because it's his head? Or, in the case of the dude with the tail, does that just mean he can't, the tail's just dead weight now? He can't use it?
Because he wasn't born with a centipede head.
Wasn't he? When they first described quirks, the first guy with a quirk was a baby that was glowing. They were born with the quirk.
Oh.
At least the physical ones anyway, like that, I think are just straight up born that way. They're not ones that are developed over time like Bakugo's explosions. I think the physical ones they're born with.
Interesting.
Because otherwise, because they were saying at one point, by the age of 4, they usually develop their quirks, which means that if they're not born with that, the guy was growing his tail by ages 0 to 4. In which case, I guess your centipede your head morphs into the centipede at that point. I'm not sure. I think it's easier just to assume that those physical ones are born that way.
Just like Lady Gaga?
I mean, I'm not going to speculate.
Was that yeah, that was the proper music reference.
Yes, it was. It was. Okay. You pulled a JoJo. Good job.
Yay!
I'm pretty sure Born This Way is a stand. I'm 99% sure that's a stand.
What isn't a stand?
Hold on. Let me just... Yes, it is! Hold on, what part is it from? It's from part 4. No, sorry, part 8. It's part 8. Born This Way is part 8. Before we actually get back on track, did you ever watch the show Shaman King?
No, but I heard of it.
So I did, and I had this realization the other day that Shaman King is just fucking JoJo.
Explain.
They're summoning spirits. In this case, I think they're spirits that used to exist, but they're summoned in the same way that stands are, where they just like, pop out next to you. The only difference is you infuse the spirit into an item or yourself. But in all other, but like we have gun stands, so it's just a stand. It's just JoJo. It's just Kid JoJo. I'll show you like pictures and shit after like this recording, but like, fuck me. Back on track. Yeah, so I don't know how physical attributes and shit work. I'm just assuming they're born with them.
Okay.
But the fact that this thing destroys things means that if they get a better version of it, it could be permanent.
That's what I'm thinking.
And that's not good.
I'm guessing one of the main characters will lose their ability.
I don't think that's going to be the case. At least not permanently. I think that by the end of this arc, Shigaraki's gonna get that stuff. Like, get the data at least, if not find a way to recreate it or synthesize it and start pumping out, like, an improved version that can permanently get rid of the stuff. Get rid of quirks.
Oh.
And if I'm right about the other thing, where her blood is also being used to boost people's quirks as well, if she's both, then that leads to a whole other host of potential things down the line. Because, like, fucking boost one for all. What the shit's gonna happen?
I don't know.
The other thing I'm thinking of is, like, thinking about it this way is making me think about the thing that I got spoiled on at one point that I had mentioned in one of the other episodes that we did, like 2 or 3 back. It's making me think that that might be how it's done. Like, obviously, there's probably a natural way to make it happen, but there's also, like, this drug version of it. Like, the drug version is forcing it to happen, if only for a temporary time.
Well, we'll find out more next week.
Yes, we will. Oh, one last thing. So, they keep saying that Overhaul is her father. I think that's horseshit.
Yes.
And all I can say with that is that if you watch the ending, there are points that make you think, wait a minute, that can't be. Because there's a point where she's drawing her family. We only ever see her mom, which looks similar to her. But when she's drawing her family, you see her dad, and it looks very much like he's got a pair of glasses on. And then there's that moment where she's, like, staring in an open doorway at, like, just empty clothes on the ground. I'm guessing her father was murdered. Like, with some quirk that he was just not, like, he disappeared, essentially. Erased or something.
Overhaul?
Overhaul would have made a bloody mess. I don't think it would have been him. It wasn't a bloody mess in that ending. So it was some other quirk, I think.
Well, come and join us next week when we will hopefully start the process of saving Eri?
I would hope so. I'm very curious to see where this goes and see if I'm right again and I get another gold star.
Oh, another star for you, I guess.
Yes.
More stars. I'm preemptively calling it.
I'm sorry, I'm just good at telling where a show's going to go.
Oh, just like cat soup, you guessed that so spot on.
Yes, I did. I was very good at it, and I didn't even know it.
Alright, later.
Goodbye.